So I wanted to give you guys some tips today about working from home. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years now, and that's one of the reasons I got started doing what I do is because I love the fact that I can control my time and work when I want to work and be able to be at all my kids' things. But some of us right now are forced to be in home working because of COVID-19, and I know it's probably pretty frustrating. So I wanted to give you a few tips. Before I do, I want to share with you just the history of working from home. Back in the medieval times, everyone worked from home. You'd go to the butcher, it'd be at his house, or maybe a seamstress. And then in the Renaissance period is when the first storefronts happened, where their house would kind of be a storefront, and then they would have their living quarters in there too. And then the Industrial Revolution, people got into working in factories and not necessarily as much at home. Then the World War II came, and all the men had to go off to war, and the women had to take the men's jobs and go to work. When the men came back, the women were out of work. And that's when they started to say, well, we want to make some extra money. And they started a lot of things like network marketing, those types of things where they were selling stuff like Tupperware. Now in the 90s and now the 2000s, working at home is on a rise. People want to have more control of their time and control of their income and not be at the subject of a boss or the economy if they don't have to. And so right now, people are wanting to do either telecommuting, remote work from home, maybe part-time at home. And, sometimes it's not that easy of a transition. So let me just give you a few tips that have worked for me. One, you need regular business hours. You need to, even if this is temporary because of the virus, you need regular business hours. You need to have a regular schedule, stick to a routine. Especially if you have kids at home. Holy cow, if you're homeschooling too right now, your kids need to have a schedule. When do they need to be on their Zooms or their calls with their teachers, and when do they need to have their homework in by? So really try to stick to a schedule. The second thing is have a dedicated work area. And maybe it's just a little folding table right now, I don't know, but have a work area with a comfortable chair, an office chair, so you're not sitting in something that's gonna make you uncomfortable all day long. I don't recommend having it in your bedroom. I know sometimes that seems like the quiet place away from all your kids where you can lock yourself away in there, but I don't recommend it because you're going to get up, you're going to go to your work in your desk in the corner, and then you're going to go to bed that night, that same spot. Who wants to feel like they're endlessly working, that you get up and you go to bed in the same place that you work? So try to find a different place if possible. And if if you want to make it something that's cozy, like your home, someplace that you enjoy being at, go for it. I'm sitting on a yoga ball right now in my home office. Next, you want to have boundaries set with anybody that is going to be in your house. Your kids, your spouse, maybe if you have a roommate. Make sure that you explain, your circumstances. Make sure you set some boundaries. Maybe with your kids, you have, nonverbal cues of like zip it or whatever you have to do. So, take breaks too. That's another big part of this. Take breaks. Maybe you need to go outside and walk. If you know you're going to be on a conference call that you don't have to take notes and just listen, put your ear pods in, maybe take a walk around your house if you can, or maybe just go sit in the backyard and watch your kids play. But schedule your lunch, schedule your breaks, just like if you are going to the office. I would also invest in some quality technology. Especially if you're going to be doing a lot of these webinar type Zoom things, maybe get some cameras that work well, get a microphone if you have to, again, things that are going to work for whatever your business at home may require. Maybe you should also make it a little harder for you to get onto social media. I know it's easy when you're at home to kind of get bored or scroll while you're waiting for your next phone call or something. And maybe you should just make it so that you are logged out. So it's just a little bit harder. Social media apps are designed to make it easy for you to log into and to waste time on. So maybe you make it so that you don't log in so easily that you have to take a little bit of extra effort to log in to remind yourself you should be working versus wasting time. Next, it's good to have your top 3 tasks or your top tasks of the day. I use a planner, like a paper planner still, I do. But I also have to-do lists. And so pick maybe your top 3 tasks that you're trying to get done. And then you could also, I suggest maybe using some type of event that's happening throughout that day. Maybe it's when the laundry buzzer goes off at your house, or when it's time to eat lunch, or when your kids are out of school or whatever, to try to get these tasks done by a certain amount of time. I also always have a start time, but not an end time. for my work day. I want to have a start time that I want to get to work at a certain time. Even though I'm not walking into the office, I act like I'm walking into an office. I want to be at work at a certain time and be at my desk making my phone calls or what I have to do. But I also don't have an end time. I'm trying to get my tasks done and get my work done. And as soon as I can get them done, I'm done. I'm done. I can go hang out with my kids, go do whatever I got to do. But if I'm not done, I don't want to carry over stuff to tomorrow's work day. The next one, and it's a big one, is get dressed. You know, even though you're working from home, that doesn't mean that you walk around the house in your robe and your slippers, right? So put some shoes on. Ladies, you don't have to be wearing heels, but put some shoes on. Don't be running around barefoot or, in your slippers, or you're going to be casual. You need to get dressed like you're going to work, just like as if you were at your normal office hours, so that you take yourself more serious. There's a lot of employers and a lot of people that think working from home is not going to be good because you have to watch your employee to make sure that they're working. And I just don't think that's true. I think that you measure the employee by their output. If they're at home and they're less stressed, they're using less gas, they're polluting the environment less, they're not having to do that commute, and they can get more work done. If they're doing more output, then that's all that matters, right? So, like I said, I just think that you gotta not be casual and you gotta treat it like it's business as usual. And last, if you do have kids at home, I highly recommend that you have very easily accessible snacks. Lots of snacks in your pantry, because every 5 minutes they're going to be coming to you when they're bored. Mom, can you get me some chips? Mom, can you get me some snacks? So have a pantry full of snacks, and also have headphones. So maybe they can, get on with their teacher or do their stuff and not be too loud and disruptive to everybody else in the house. Stay healthy, get outside if possible to get some exercise. Maybe just watch the kids play in the backyard, and just get as much, fresh air as you can. But also, if you are an entrepreneur or someone that's trying to do a side hustle, working from home can be a great blessing in your life. Just be productive, stay focused, and make sure you're taking those breaks when you need them. Breaks with your kids, but then breaks without your kids. All right, hope this helps you guys.